Okay. We're gonna cover the first page of One Piece. One Piece. Um, in Japanese. Translate together and see if we can learn some grammatical stuff from this first page. It is pretty dense. I mean, I think any manga or any story introduction first page is important. So it tends to be pretty dense. So, but with that, let's get right on. 冒険の夜明け. Let's start with the title. 冒険. 冒険, well, it says that, the English translation of the title, Romance Dawn, which I think is a good translation. 冒険, literal meaning of 冒険 is adventure. So we can say 冒険する to be adventurous. 冒険に行く to go on an adventure, right? Well, this one, English version, they translate it as romance, which I think it can be a good translation. Yoake, yo comes from yoru. The kunyomi Japanese reading is yoru, night. Ake comes from the verb akeru. Akeru means to like clear out. So that's why. Yoga akeru. Yoru ga akeru. Or yoga akeru. Night clears out, meaning morning has come, meaning dawn. Akeru, to dawn, right? And change this to verb stem, meaning mass form, but take off must. I have explained in the past, but verb stem can sometimes be combined with some other nouns to become one bigger noun. For example, food is 食べ物, right? 食べ物. 食べ comes from 食べる. Verb stem of 食べる is 食べ. So 食べ物. Thing to eat is food. 飲み物, right? Thing to drink, because this one comes from the verb 飲む. 飲み is the verb stem. 飲みます, right? So just like there's kimono as well, right? Ki comes from the verb 着る. So things to wear is kimono. So this kind of phenomenon happens. Verb, when it's changed to verb stem, it can be combined directly to a different noun or with another verb stem to create a noun. So yoake, dawning, clearing a night means dawn. Dawn of adventure is the literal meaning, but translated as romance dawn. Okay, with this, let's tackle the actual sentences. トミー、いやトミー名声力。かつてこの世のすべてを手に入れた男。海賊王、ゴールドロジャー。This is a really nice introduction. Tommy, wealth, may say, may, the kanji for 名前, right? Name. Say comes from 声, voice, right? Literal meaning, name, voice. What is it? Fame. Fame. 力, power. かつてこの世のすべてを手に入れた男. So this one, let's see the full sentence. With manga, many times it can be difficult you have to really know the context and Japanese to know what a full sentence is, or if it's divided into two or more sentences, right? So for example, this one, So Tommy may say, sorry about my handwriting, 力, period. So this is basically just, it's not, I mean, it's just mm, doesn't have any verb. It's just collection of nouns, right? Wealth, fame, and power, period. And then move on to next sentence, かつて. かつて. かつて means like used to, long time ago. In a polite, really formal way. Casual way, we usually just say like 昔, long time ago, right? So かつて, long time ago, this person used to, that kind of meeting, right? Let's figure out the appropriate translation after we translate the other part of the sentence. かつてこの世のすべてを手に入れた男。手に入れた男。海賊王。ゴールドロジャー。This one. Noun qualifying sentence. Really important grammar point. This is basically in English, whatever noun, that, noun, who, noun, where, noun, when, these stuff, subsentence. For example, I went to a school where my dad went, where my dad went. I know a person who studies Japanese. I remember the time when I used to shit in my pants, right? So these stuff are called noun qualifying sentences. Basically, adding a subsentence under the sentence attached to a noun to describe more in detail about the noun. That's noun qualifying sentence, right? This one in Japanese, we start with subsentence, the sentence that describes the noun first, and then noun comes directly after. How do we connect subsentence to a noun? Like in English, we add like one of these two, or I mean, one of these words, or it can be omitted too. But in Japanese, we don't add any like new word, say, right? Instead, make sure the ending of the subsentence is plain, okay? Casual form. Then we can directly connect to a noun. There's more, like, some more detail. There's some more rules about this. So you can watch a video about it. This is really important, so I want you to really know. So basically, using this ground point, right? Just remember that in Japanese, when we use noun qualifying sentence, we start with the subsentence first and then noun. So it's opposite direction, opposite order. So it's confusing. この世のすべてを手に入れた男。OK。ゴールドロジャーは海賊王。海賊王、ゴールドロジャー。OK。So, with かつて, right? かつて, long time ago. This one, この世のすべてを手に入れた. This whole thing is subsentence describing this noun, 男, basically man. So, let's start with translating the subsentence. この世のすべて、この世, この世. 世 can mean world or society in a poetic or formal way. So this world, this society, no すべて。すべて means everything. Or the object particle. を手に入れた男。手に入れた. Let's start with the original form or the dictionary form. 手に入れる. 手 hand に destination particle 入れる to put something to put something. So with that literal meaning of 手に入れる to put hands. Well, sorry, but this particle, the meaning will be different. This is the destination particle, right? So 手 is the hand is the destination. 手に入れる to put something to someone's hand. Okay? For example, お金を手に入れる。お金 money を手に入れる。I put money into my hand. What do you think it means as an idiom? To gain, to have, to in some contexts it can be to conquer. For example, 日本を手に入れる. I conquered Japan. It's in my hand, right? So it means to acquire something. With that, going back to the sentence. 手に入れた past tense, past positive. So acquired something, right? Acquired what? The particle を object. What is it? この世のすべて. Everything of this society or this world. を手に入れた. Acquired everything in this world. 男. Noun qualifying sentence. So the man, in this case, let's choose who. The man who got everything in the world. So as a sentence, it's going to be something like, the man who got everything in the world. 海賊王, the name. 海賊王, 海賊 means pirate. 王 means king. So king of the pirate. King of the pirates. This is the nickname. Well, that's what people called him. Gold Roger. So the reason why, okay, wait a minute. Okay, so let's complete the sentence. Okay, the man who got everything in the world. Well, correct translation will be, in correct order in English will be, the king of the pirates, Gold Roger, the man who got everything in the world, right? Because it's the opposite order. The reason why I think this introduction sentence is really good is because it's using the structure of noun qualifying sentence in Japanese really well. Why? Because like I said, noun qualifying sentence in English starts with noun plus subsentence, right? But in Japanese, we start with the subsentence and noun comes at the end. So whenever you want to say something where you want to put an emphasis on the noun, you can put this, when you can put this noun that you want to emphasize at the end of a sentence, it can have like more like what is it, climax effect, like a movie, right? You want to have toward the end of the show or whatever be really intense and most vibrant, right? This one, in a sentence, by using this non-qualifying sentence in Japanese, you can have the noun at the end, noun that you want to really emphasize the most. In this case, gold doroja, right? In English, when we do this translation, we start with the answer, Gold Roger, the king of the pirates, who got everything in the world, right? Which is, of course, still fine, but I think this way of this way of introduction is using this grammar point or this structure of Japanese to emphasize this person well. Anyways, okay. So with that, we got to understand the meaning. Let's start again. Wealth, fame, power. Period. King of the pirates, Gold Roger, who used to own everything in the world, maybe. Okay? Okay. 彼の死に際に放った一言は So, just to let you know, this first page, like I said, it's dense. Why? Because people tend to, authors tend to write in like pretty formal way because it's really introduction. So that's why it's a little bit difficult for Japanese learners to understand um, right away. 彼の死に際、彼、he, right? Okay. 彼、he の死に際 again, 死に comes from 死ぬ. It's the verb stem. 死にます, right? Combined with a noun, 際. It's like edge. So dying edge, edge of dying, meaning at the moment of death, right? Right before he died. に time particle. 放った一言. Again, 放った, you can tell it's a verb, past tense, right? Verb plain in the middle of a sentence, connected directly to 一言, now. So, noun qualifying sentence again. 一言. 人, maybe you can guess from this way of reading. 人 is the Japanese origin number, counting, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are Chinese origin numbers. But Japanese origin numbers, we usually, my cat, who just knocked down one of the lamps. Japanese origin numbers, we use them already combined with certain counters, like 2, small object 2, 一つ、二つ、三つ、四つ. People, only until 2 people. 一人、二人, from 3, 三人、四人、五人, switch to Chinese origin number, right? This one, 一言. Some of you might already know this. Kanji is you to say, right? So what do you think? Koto as a counter with the kanji meaning say. What do you think it's used to count? 一言、二言、三言. We only say, we usually only say until 二言. Just like, a little bit similar to when counting people, but we don't say like more than 3, koto. Okay. The answer is basically word. It's a little bit different than the actual word. For example, so it's getting a little bit confusing. For example, when you're writing an essay or something, and your teachers are like, okay, write an essay, like 2,000 words, right? That kind of word. If you want to say that in Japanese, we use the counter 文字. moji, which basically means letter. So how many letters? You have to write an essay and this how many, this many letters. Why? Because, you know, in Japanese, one letter can mean a word, right? Like because we use kanjis and stuff. So that's why we count by letters instead of words. Okay. So with that, if you want to say like this many words when writing something, then we use this moji, hitomoji. Oops. Okay. So this kind of word, this counter, but this koto, hitokoto, when you use this counter, then literal meaning is one word, but basically means something like response or uh, is this C? S? S? Okay. Um, for example, we use this not exactly counting the words, but more like figuratively. So, for example, when you come to a party, graduation party, and your teacher and the student who graduated is like, hey, can you say something, to the party? Uh, in Japanese, we say, 一言言ってください. Literal meaning again means, please say one word. Doesn't literally mean one word. In this situation, it means, please say, something briefly. Okay? 一言. So basically, 一言 can mean sentence. Someone who, this person said this one sentence can be counted as 一言. So just want to make sure you understand. This is the literal counting of characters, but this one is more used figuratively to say something briefly, usually. With that, going back to the sentence, using the noun qualifying sentence, 一言 is noun, right? So for now, let's translate this as this one thing, maybe one thing. This one thing that he cut it. He is omitted. Subject can be omitted when it's obvious. In this case, it's pretty obvious we're talking about this one because we just introduced him, right? Okay. It's one thing that he 放つ. 放つ literally means to release. 例えば, for example, 犬を庭に放ちました. I released a dog at a yard. But in this case, talking about one thing that someone said, right? So, with that, maybe you can translate this as remark because it's a little bit formal way. We don't usually say use hanatsu to release to mean someone said something. So, yeah, maybe the one thing that he remarked at the end of dying or when he was dying, right before he died, は is 全世界の人々を海へ駆り立てた。うん。全世界。世界 many of you know one of the genres in manga, isekai, right? I means different. Sekai means world. So isekai literally means different world. This this case, zen. Zen means everything. So all the worlds, meaning, I mean, in this case, hitobito, people, people around the world, or particle, object or, 海へ駆り立てた. Simple explanation of the particle e is basically polite version of the destination, ni, place destination, not time destination. This is polite way. Again, this whole thing, because it's a dense introduction, it's, the author is using a little bit formal Japanese. 海へ ocean. 駆り立てる。駆り立てる is to influence someone to do something. In this case, 全世界の人々を this is the object. These people are the objects of being influenced. To do what? In this case, toward or to ocean. So with this, the last half, right? Well, maybe I guess we can translate together with this first half of the sentence. The one last remark that he said right when he died was, not was, sorry. The last remark he made it when he was dying influenced or what's a better way? I'm pretty sure some of you can figure out a better way to paraphrase influence, maybe encouraged people to go out to the ocean. That makes sense. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is again long sentence, long one sentence using noun qualifying sentence. One thing that he said when he was dying encouraged people in the world to the ocean. Pretty difficult, right? That's why usually manga is to fully understand manga, it's as difficult as understanding novels. Okay, what did he say? What did this king of pirates say that really made people go to the ocean? Okay. 俺の財宝か財宝 treasure. Treasure. Takara is also treasure. Takara. But Takara is treasure in a more vague, poetic treasure. Like, for example, in children's book, treasure. That makes sense. But if you put zai here, zai basically means financial wealth, zai. So that's why zai ho together with this money aspect, it's treasure or my, what is it, capital, everything, financial everything. Or he got, right? Because it said he acquired everything in the world. 俺の財宝か俺 is a casual masculine way to say I, the pronoun I. 俺の財宝か question. My treasure, what is it? What's the best way? I'm pretty sure some of you can figure out the more appropriate way to translate this. My money, my everything. 欲しけりゃくれてやるぜ. This one. Okay. This one is linguistically really interesting sentence. Difficult to explain. 欲しけりゃくれてやるぜ。えーっと、欲しけりゃ is this casual slang version of 欲しければ. This one you learn. If 欲し comes from 欲しい adjective. Want. Want something noun. So if you want, right, talking about the treasure that he accumulated. 欲しければ if you want the treasure. くれてやるぜ. This one. This one is a really linguistically interesting sentence. Okay. This one is basically, well, maybe we can review this verb to form plus あげる、くれる、もらう. Okay. Just to briefly cover this. Verb to form plus あげる. To do something for someone, right? Verb to form plus くれる. Well, okay. For example, 手伝ってあげる. 手伝ってあげる. 手伝って comes from 手伝う to help. I'll help you. Or I'll maybe 料理してあげる. 料理してあげる. I'll cook for you. I'll give the action of cooking. Means I'll cook for you. くれる. Usually someone does something for me, usually. Okay. So, for example, 友達が maybe we can just use the same 料理してくれた. My friend cooked for me. Emphasizing or appreciating the fact that your friend did it for you. もらう, receive. I mean, this ground point, okay, I'm really summarizing, so it might not make that much sense. But you know, if it doesn't make sense, please check the other video of me explaining this because this ground point is really important because we use this a lot in Japanese. Okay. もらう is to receive. I receive. So, literal meaning, I receive the action of this one from someone. Emphasizing that I receive, not emphasizing the person who did something for you. Meaning you're a little bit selfish in this case because you're not really choosing to show appreciation, not necessarily. So with that, good translation can be to have someone do something for me. So like if you want to say, 友達に料理してもらった. This would mean I had my friend cook for me. You see the difference between these two? Basically same meaning, right? Because 友達が料理してくれた means my friend cooked for me. 友達に料理してもらった would mean I had my friend cook for me. Same meaning, but the nuance is different, right? I had my friend cook for me. Doesn't really show that much appreciation to your friend. But my friend cooked for me. It does show more appreciation compared to the previous one, right? So that's the difference, even though the meaning itself are mainly same. Okay. All right. So with this, right? Let me start with conclusion of くれてやるぜ. Okay. This is basically trying to say this. あげて、あげてあげる. Um, just letting you know this is not grammatical. I'm just starting with what this phrase is trying to say. Okay, so it's not grammatical yet. Let me explain. あげて here. 手 form of あげる, あげて give. あげる this one. To do something for someone. So in this case, I'll give this for you. For your benefit, I'll give this to you. But like I said, this phrase あげてあげる is not grammatical. Why? Because, we're using the same verb here. あげる give, あげる give. We can just simply say あげる instead of あげてあげる. It's not gonna give the connotation that I'm doing this for you, right? But because of this repetition, あげてあげる, we don't say this. Okay? So that's why people usually just simply say あげる, even when they want to give the nuance that, hey, I'm doing this for you. You should appreciate me. I'm going out of my way to do this, right? But still, because of this, we don't say it and we simply just basically give up to give that nuance and default to あげる. I'll give this to you. Okay? I mean, you can give the give the connotation or give the nuance that, hey, I'm doing this for you, by changing the tone. Usually, that's how we do in this case. Like for example, um, you you got a toy or something, I don't know, and then your friend or your sibling wants it. Your sibling has more power or whatever. Your parents ask you to give it to your sibling. Sounds weird, but and then you don't want to give it because it's your toy, but your parents are saying, telling you to give it, so you're reluctantly trying to give it, right? So with that, I can say like, わかったよ、わかったよ. Okay, I got it. あげるよ、あげるよ. I'll give it to you. Like, that kind of really reluctant tone. By saying that way, you can give the nuance that you're going out of your way to give, right? But when you don't want to change tone and still give that kind of nuance, くれてやる instead of あげてやる, we can't repeat same verb twice, right? So that's why here, くれてやる. Okay, first of all, let me, my notes get really messy, as you might already know, so sorry in advance. Okay, so more casual, even more casual, or a little bit rougher way to say あげる, to give, is やる in my head. Okay, やる to give. This one we use this yaru to give to mean usually, I mean, it's a rougher, ruder way to say give. So that's why we usually only use it to someone who's younger than you, to someone who has like lower social status than you, or to, for some people, they use it to their pets because, some people they think they're lower, even though I disagree with that, right? Or some people use it to plants, like mizu o yaru, give water to water them, right? Um, so basically, yaru to give in a rougher way. So ruder way to say give is yaru. Combined with the verb kureru, kurete, right? This one we learned here, kureru, usually means someone gives me or someone else, right? Someone gives something. Well, in this case, someone gives to me, yaru. Okay. So let me try this. I'm gonna try to translate this with the nuance, okay? I'm gonna give you in a rude way, right? Insulting way. And I'm gonna give you the action of you receiving it. Paraphrase can be, I'm gonna let you have it, maybe. Yeah. This is why it's interesting because usually, I mean, like you give or someone receives the action, right? So you're the person who's doing. Like if I'm cooking for someone, I cook. So 料理する。料理してあげる。I give the action of cooking. But that's why originally it was あげてあげる, right? Because you basically want to say, hey, I'm gonna give you the action of me giving you. That's why this is the correct uh like approach, you know. But it's interesting because it's using くれる. くれる is focusing on the receiver. Someone gives something to you. So that's why I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna that kind of a little bit condescending way to say I give you. Yeah. So with that, I'm not sure if my explanation made sense, but for now, without the Z. Okay. 欲しけりゃくれてやる. Understandable paraphrase is 欲しければ. Get it? Pretty simple. If you want it, I'll give it to you. The suffix Z, similar to the suffix yo, but a little bit more aggressive. Like in this context, a little bit aggressive. I'm gonna give it to you because, like I just talked about here, くれてやるぜ. Like this person is trying to insult you by saying, "Hey, if you want this kind of piece of shit that's thousands, millions of, dollars worth of treasures, I'm gonna just fucking give it to you." That kind of rude way, devaluing way to the other person, right? So that's why it's used to be a little bit aggressive. Okay. With that, again, let's here. 俺の財宝か? My treasures. 欲しければくれてやるぜ. I'll give it to you if you want. Maybe like by adding the 欲しければ, if you want, it's kind of given the kind of implying that if you can find, I bet you can't find, but if you want, you know, there's there. Nia, onomatopoeia, smiling. When someone is smiling, ニヤニヤする。探してみろ。Well, this nia is more like smirk, right? Okay. 探してみろ. Hi, this one is using the ground point. Again, verb, teflon, plus 見る. To try doing something. 探してみる. Kind of similar in English too. Let's do and see, right? Let's do and see. Let's try. Same origin, basically. 探してみろ. 探す is to look for something. And then 見ろ. From 探してみる to 見ろ. What kind of conjugation is this? This is the casual form of commanding. Casual of commanding form. Like ordering someone to do. Okay? So this one, let's briefly review. U verb. Change the U sound to E. So for example, I mean well, let's just use the most popular verb, right? 死ぬ, to die. Ordering someone to die. You die. 死ね. This is usually what people say is the worst word you can say in Japanese. 死ね. Go die, right? U verb. Change the ru to ro. So for example, 食べる will be 食べろ. Eat it. する しろ do it. 来る 来い come here, right? This is casual version of commanding form. So you can say this to your friends, family members who you're close to, or if your boss, you want to practice your authority, be mean to someone else, you can use this. Why I specified as a casual version is because we do have polite version. I mean, polite speech version of commanding form. So it is still commanding form. So it is still rude to, I mean, just in general, to order someone to do something. It is kind of rude, right? So it is still rude. It's just that it's polite speech version, meaning usually, I mean, this one too, usually just, boss or someone, you know, still mean because you're ordering someone to do. But if you just want to add a little bit of politeness by just changing to polite speech, I guess, yeah, still rude. Yeah. So, verb. Verb. Sorry, it's not just divided by verb type. It's just verb stem plus nasai. Whatever verb. 食べなさい, eat it. 行きなさい, go. しなさい, 来なさい. Okay? So this is the polite speech version of commanding form. This is the casual speech. In this context, of course, this guy doesn't care to be polite to people. He's going to be beheaded, right? So that's why he's using the casual version, casual speech version of commanding form. 探してみろ. So commanding form of this verb, sorry, this grammar point, to try to do something in this case, try looking for it, right? Ordering someone, hey, try looking for it. この世のすべてをそこに置いてきた. This one, we translated this earlier. この世のすべて. Everything of this world, right? Object particle. そこ there に place destination 置いてきた. This one needs more explanation later. But for now, brief explanation. Verb to form plus 行く verb to form plus 来る. Literal meaning is to do something and go, right? And do something and come. So, for example, um, simple. The confusing part about this ground point is because you can use this ground point literally. Like, for example, 日本に行ってきました. Literal meaning. I went and came back. I went to Japan and came back. Good translation in English. I've gone to Japan, implying that you have already come back. So that's not really like literal translation, but this one is the example of using like 行くを来る literally, like literally, physically coming or going, right? Figuratively, it can be used too. For example, let's see. Figuratively in terms of time. Well, this case, right? 置いてきた. Go look, go try looking for it. 置く, the verb 置く to leave, to put someone on leave. I have put the treasures and come here. But in terms of time, I have put the treasures somewhere in the past. Like I already did it and I'm here now. So that's why in English translation can be I have I have put my treasures there, そこに. So if that makes sense, but I guess yeah, just look for the video that I explain more in detail. So with that, this whole thing, right? 探してみろ. Try looking for it. I have put all the things in this world there. Okay? 世は the society, everyone, people. 大海賊時代を迎える. 大 like we see 大好き, right? It's used to emphasize in this case. Like 好き can become love. I love something by adding 大 because 大 emphasizes something. Or in English, in this case, maybe it's good to translate as the great something in this case. 海賊時代. Jidai is an era. Era of pirates. The era of the great, I mean, the great pirates era を迎える。迎える is to welcome something. So people welcome the great pirates era by this guy given the task to everyone who wants his treasures to look for it. This is the first page. How long did it take? Oh, it took a long time to really go through, but I hope my explanation helped. Oh, well, okay, let's end with here. The onomatopoeia, right? Whoa, this one. Whoa. Katakana. Whoa. These people just screaming, excited because this guy said, hey, look for it, right? Look for my treasures. And then zan, another onomatopoeia. Zan is the sound of someone being decapitated. Zan, someone cuts with a knife. Zan. Really dramatic, nice intro. First page of the manga. Okay, so with this, I'm gonna, basically read the Japanese and translate um, with the translations that we have come up with. Okay. 第一話 The first story, Romance Dawn, Romance Dawn, 冒険の夜明け。OK。富名声力、かつてこの世のすべてを手に入れた男、海賊王、ゴールド・ロジャー。Wealth, fame, and power. The king of the pirates, Gold Roger, who used to own, the man who used to own everything in this world. One remark that he said at the end of dying, at the end, right before his death, made people go crazy to the ocean, made people in the world, the whole world, to go crazy, to go to the ocean. 俺の財宝か ?My treasures? 欲しけりゃくれてやるぜ。If you want it, I'll fucking give it to you. ニヤ、smirk. 探してみろ。Try looking for it. この世のすべてをそこに置いてきた。I've left everything there. And then, Zan. And then he was decapitated. And then everyone's like, whoa. Excited. And then, 世は大海賊時代を迎える。This world welcomes the great pirates era. Okay. All right. I hope that helped. Yeah. Thank you.